Hello, dear. It is my esteemed pleasure to present to you with a splendid opportunity for luxurious riches with a net worth of $850 million USD. All you need to do is simply to listen to this beautiful podcast, and everything that you desire will be yours. In the event that you refuse, I have acquired private footage of you executing dirty activities upon your own person that I will share it with your entire contacts list unless you kindly transmit $17 billion USD to me in cryptocurrency. Many blessings and best wishes. Hello, dear.
I heard that during the Benghazi attack, Barack Obama flew to Las Vegas to go to a Beyonce concert.
That's so funny. That is, damn.
Which is, look, he had a plan.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, it's like it's the kind of thing that's very benign, but
Right.
feels like just like an enraged dream from, Rush Limbaugh or something. So that's very
true. It's also Beyonce. Yeah, it's
Beyonce
like
of all people.
Politically
it's
and culturally enraging for a group of folks.
It absolutely feels on the money.
I bet it was a good show.
Dude, I bet it was awesome. I mean, I feel like she was at, near the height of her powers at that point.
Do you think she was like informed of the thing before she went on?
Wow.
So it's like the president's here, he's here during an attack. You better get
wow,
it cracking.
I thought you meant like, did Beyonce have insider knowledge of Benghazi like before it happened? Benghazi.
Whoa, that's like a good drag queen name.
That is pretty good. It's a little
Benghazi.
clumsy. I mean, I think Benghazi by itself is pretty funny as a drag queen name.
Or it's like Benghazi with the E.
Oh, that's it. Dude, that's it. Yeah, Benghazi.
Benghazi. Also, just if you separate like a guy's name, is just Benghazi.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it could be. It sounds like an Italian guy that voted for Trump. Benghazi.
Yeah, like GAZZ.
It would be like yeah. What was it? GA
ZZI.
ZZI. Yeah, that'd be like Gotzi a little bit, but close enough.
True. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Benghazi.
Dude,
I mean, how are you?
I'm all right, man. I'd like to talk to you about what I ate this week.
Oh, true. Yeah, this is
an
important.
I don't know. So we've talked about scones on this podcast before. I've waxed poetic about them. I think they're a great pastry.
Right.
They have a sort of coherence structurally that muffins don't have.
Yeah,
they can be savory
that.
or sweet.
Yeah.
I had a blueberry scone from Starbucks, and it was horrible.
Speak on it.
Yeah, it crumbly. Also, you know what I don't like? What Starbucks does? They heat up every pastry.
Oh yeah,
without even you asking.
Whoa.
And which make them worse. A hot Starbucks, a microwave Starbucks pastry is worse than an unmicrowave Starbucks pastry.
Yeah, I don't like their ovens. Actually, I like rarely get a thing from. I rarely get like their baked.
No, you shouldn't. Yeah, why would you? No, I was in dire straits and I needed to eat something.
You gotta do something.
That's where I was at. But yeah, it was.
It's also frustrating. Typically, I would think of like a mass-produced kind of bad scone to be not crumbly, but more of like
stiff or stale.
Yeah, and honestly, I'd prefer that.
I think so too. No, this was like very like soft, and it tasted. I mean, it tasted very sugary, so it was like easy to eat, but nothing close to the a good scone that I've had from other cafes, and I was really disappointed in it. But also, I put myself in this situation and. I knew what I was getting.
I don't know. I mean, you never know. It's like, on the whole,
like a croissant. I know that if I try to eat a croissant from Starbucks, it's going to be bad. We've spoken on this before. But a scone, I was like, maybe they know how to do this.
No, I get it. Look, I'd be the same way. I would be the same way because honestly, I don't know where's like a place you get a scone that's acceptable.
I would say just any local cafe is likely to have, because usually local cafes get their pastries from bakeries in the city that are,
That's true.
I think Starbucks, just every food item they sell is in a big freezer in the back.
Yeah. It's true, yeah. Like where it comes from is, Dude, we've talked about like lab-grown meat before. They definitely will be they're pretty close to be able to do like lab-grown pastries. Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's like, I would imagine if you got your hands on, that's actually probably a goal of mine in the next couple of months, get my hands on one of the Starbucks pastries before they've been like placed in the case. I would imagine they come in like a plastic thing.
Yeah.
And have like instructions on them.
No, for sure. I mean, I used to work at the coffee shop in Borders, which was Seattle's Best, which was owned by Starbucks.
Oh.
And all the pastries that's how you got them out. You had to take them out of the freezer like a day ahead of time, and then they thawed. Mm-hmm. And then but you know what? I don't remember if they weren't. I don't think they were individually wrapped or like individually enclosed.
Okay. Well,
but my memory might be faulty. It's been over a decade since I worked there.
Also, just an even greater challenge to get a wrapped like pallet of baked goods.
That is what it was. It was a pallet.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I would imagine, because if you look at labels on food now, particularly like processed ones, most of the time now there's a little instruction that's like, or not instruction, but a little note that's like partially produced with genetic engineering.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
If you get like crackers or like some sort of chip, it's most likely because it's like
what's being genetically engineered?
Probably like soybeans.
Hmm.
So, or like soybeans, or maybe even like, I don't know, maybe like wheat or some sort of something like that.
Yeah.
Some component, some like small component, but it's like grown, under
laboratory conditions.
Yeah, godless circumstances.
I know exactly. Yeah. They didn't think about what's the Jurassic Park line? They didn't think about. They only thought about if we could, not if we should. Dude, that makes me think about. You know how who was the Nazi who was instrumental in the U.S. space program? Werner von Braun.
Oh, okay.
He was like a Nazi scientist who then came over to the U.S. after the war and like helped us get to the moon.
Okay.
Anyway, it'd be funny. Well, it wouldn't be that funny, but it would be if like Joseph Mengele, was like instead of escaping to Bolivia, he like came to the U.S. and was instrumental in like creating Ritz crackers or something. With this like horrible twin experiments, he figured out how to make like a cheesier cheese or something.
I mean, yeah, those guys, they were like top notch, so they were probably like capable of it. Top notch scientifically.
Sure, yeah, morally, questionable, but
like, yeah, they were like, trained and good at their science jobs.
Yeah.
So it's possible that they could invent something like even more flavor blasted than than what we could currently imagine.
Damn, dude, the Third Reich's flavor blasting. Yeah, that's like the Manhattan Project. Like we got to flavor blast this, Doritos Loco Taco before the Germans get to it. Dude, who invented flavor blasting? What an amazing phrase.
I know. I mean, I guess...
Is that a Doritos thing? A Taco Bell thing? Like,
I think it's goldfish.
It's amazing.
I know. Flavor blasted goldfish.
Unbelievable.
Have you ever had those?
No, I don't think so.
So good.
I mean, it's like so pornographic.
Yeah, that's that's true.
Maybe it's not porn. It's like, I think that's my mind.
Suggestive.
It's just it's like it's violent.
It is. Yeah, it's like if you see
ballistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's actually like a nice term. You see like a sexy person in like revealing clothes, and it's like, damn, they flavor blasted themselves for summer.
damn girl, you're so hot. I want to vapor blast all over your stomach. I would say, you know what? It is pornographic. It's pornographic, but not erotic.
Right.
You know, that's an interesting distinction. It's like a lot of porn isn't erotic.
No, definitely not.
And I think eroticism, I think eroticism needs an element of mystery to it, or an element of something concealed.
Yeah,
and porn is just, it's like meat. It's like,
there's like the suggestion, even though it might be describing sexual acts, there's like more suggestive properties to an erotic, something or other.
And then porn is just full gape, just like it's like it's like
true.
It fluorescent lit, like everything's on the operating table, like
very like mass
and anatomical.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if I've ever seen an erotic. Well, I guess the ones I never really like
softcore. I think is.
I was gonna say like shit that they would play on like the premium cable channels.
Yeah.
I guess that's like erotic,
right? For sure.
Porn, even though they don't do that anymore.
But I also think erotic has a sense of sophistication to it.
True. It's true. There is
Like I saw the movie Hitman with Glenn Powell. It just came out a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
It's really good. It's directed by Richard Linklater. You know who that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like Glenn Powell plays like a college professor who gets hired by the New Orleans Police Department to pretend to be a hitman to entrap people who are trying to pay for like, contract killing.
Whoa, that sounds awesome.
It's really good. And anyway, the big thing about it is that, Glenn Powell's character then meets this incredibly hot lady who wants to kill her husband, and then they begin a relationship. And it's like that movie's erotic as hell, because it's like, and you never, actually there is a sex scene, but you don't see anything.
Right, I think
but
that's
it's just like
they like pan away or something.
Just the fucking energy between them, and I think part of the erotic quality of the movie is that the dialogue is good and the story is compelling.
Yeah, and
you're locked into it emotionally and psychologically. So then sexually, it all feels like of a package. Whereas like a Cinemax softcore porn, it has bad dialogue,
right,
and it's stupid. So that's going to probably turn you off at some point. So then it makes it less erotic.
Whoa, it's true. Damn, that's a really good point. That there is like something like titillating about even the situation and the story and like how that's carried out. Well, I wonder if anyone does OnlyFans like erotic movies rather than just like OnlyFans. Here's some
the problem is that I think with OnlyFans to make money you have to take suggestions from your audience, and all of those guys are going to have stupid suggestions. Yeah, it's like I want like a sexy thriller about you coming to my sales job and sucking my cock under my cubicle. It's like
right.
You would have to just for that to be profitable. I think you'd have to.
That's true. Although an OnlyFans patron that I believe in, and honestly I would like to see him write and direct some stuff, is our friend Mike Rainey.
Absolutely.
Mike Rainey's pretty passionate about OnlyFans ladies here and there,
and he's a real artist. And I think
he's a real artist, good writer, very funny. And
dude, he's like that fucking character. He's like what's his name? He's like Burt Reynolds' character in Boogie Nights. Like just in the sense that he like wants to make artistic pornography.
Yes. It's true. I would love to. Man, I wish I had a ton of money to give him just to be like, just write this porno.
Oh wait, can I go back to Joseph Mengele for a second?
Yes.
I remember on the internet there was some kind of weird like exercise that I remember doing about how easy it is to like be convinced of something or something else, and the whole thing was about the validity of the scientific experiments conducted by Joseph Mengele in the Holocaust.
Whoa.
And it was just this thought experiment of like, what if he had actually found something useful about whatever, the way the human body works or whatever, from these grotesque, inhumane things he did to the prisoners.
Yeah.
Would it be ethical to use those results in future experiments? And then you had to go through this whole thing where you read an argument pro and a con, and it would present you with new information, and then be like, what do you think now? And literally every new page that I read, I changed my mind based on the information that I got. And I think I was 14 or 15 when I did this.
Holy shit.
And yeah, I just remember coming away from it being like, Jesus Christ, like I have no beliefs. Like, what the fuck? Especially with something like that, where it just feels like seems like it should be easy to come to a strong moral conclusion about. Yeah. And I just kept being like, oh fuck, well now this piece of information makes me feel differently. Yeah. I just remember I almost feel embarrassed to bring it up just because I guess, I don't know. I think
probably good.
The way that people express their opinions politically, it's always very strident and very like,
right.
This is what I believe. And if you don't believe this, you're like misinformed or stupid.
Yeah.
And it's so obvious that what I believe is correct. I've just never been able to get to that point in expressing myself. Unless even with art or movies, which I know more about than I do politics or history or economics or anything. Even that, I'm like, if someone hates a movie that I love, I'm like, well, okay, I guess I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just well, I wouldn't say just, but that is I think you're just a thoughtful person, so it's like,
well, that's a generous take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I'm a Libra too, so the whole thing about being a Libra is the balance of the scales.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay.
Not that I don't really care about astrology or believe in it, but that is one aspect where I'm like, oh, I kind of am like that.
That is that's interesting. I didn't know that. And okay, that's also, I don't know. I mean, I think it's also like an interesting dilemma, like kind of modern day to have, because it is kind of hard to. It's like people can be quite on polar opposite sides of, and have like opinions, like very strong opinions about particular issues or like things or books or movies or whatever, but then also it's like we're seeing everyone's opinion without having the discussion about it.
That's a good point too.
So you're kind of forced to think about it before you even, or like you're forced to see multiple points of view before you may have even spent time with the thing.
That's a really good point. Yeah, it's like I've taken in 6 or 7 conflicting angles on them before I even thought about the baseline version, before I even figured out what the facts are of the situation.
Right. Yeah. Which just makes it harder. I have a hard time with that sometimes too.
I deleted Twitter off my phone for the millionth time in my life, and I'll re-download it tomorrow probably. But I'm noticing like, oh yeah, that was like the main culprit. Like,
oh well, yeah.
Every time I would be bored, and I'd be like, I guess I'll just read some stuff, and then it's like I just can't. My mind can't process that much information healthily in one go.
I know, we're taking in so much, and it's like, you know, the scroll is really. There's the promise of a potential something could be good.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
I mean, I guess
because I know there isn't. I know there isn't anything. I know. Well, you know what? But then sometimes it's like, dude, sometimes you do get something good. Like a while ago, I saw a video of I think it was retweet. I think Mike Rainey retweeted it. Mike's always he's a good
follow.
And he retweeted this video from an account called Hood Clips, I think. And it was a like a fucking owner of a crab restaurant or something, or like a fisherman, and he was showing you like how do you like subdue a crab, and he was like, and the crab was like alive and like wriggling its claws and stuff, and the guy just started like rubbing its stomach in a circular motion.
Whoa.
And the crab just kind of like slowly kind of like relaxed.
Wow.
But like in a way that made it seem really, really a lot like this dude was making this crab come so hard. And just the comments were, I mean, the video was incredible. The comments were just like a bunch of gifs of like a dude's leg in a porn, like fucking seizing up, you know? And anyway, it's like, dude, every once in a while you see that.
Yeah,
and
you get a good
fuck,
thing.
Dude,
I know.
I got to scroll to the next one.
I know. I totally get it. They have it mapped out before we could even. I know. And now, this is another, I guess, Twitter related thing. There was like, it was like news. They were like, "Hey, porn's allowed on Twitter now." And it's like, where have you guys been?
I know. Yeah, I didn't understand that. Yeah. I thought that it had always been
there.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the take is that Elon just was like, I can't control this, so now it's allowed.
So funny.
I guess, yeah.
Maybe he saw.
You think Elon Musk watches porn?
What's that?
You think Elon Musk watches porn?
Yeah, I've seen him like post memes that have like not like pre-sex kind of like porn related or porn like shots from porn.
Oh wow!
During dialogue, and then it's like the dialogue's like changed to something about
yeah. So he's
network connectivity or whatever.
Right. He's in the discourse of pornography.
Yeah. So it just seems like he probably does watch it.
Dude, when we did Dad Meet a couple weeks ago, Mike at one point was like, "Are you a porn guy, Pedro?" And I just remember I just was like, I never felt so put on the spot. And I responded, I was like, "Yes, I view it." I like had such a hard time responding naturally, and I just remember thinking that was funny.
I agree. It is always like when people ask you that. And
also just the phrasing, "Are you a porn guy?" Like, I watch. Am I a guy though?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
What does it take to be a porn guy? And I think there's levels to this shit.
They are, yeah. Where does that come from? There's levels to this shit. Is that? I mean, I know that's like something people say a lot, but I'm just wondering if there's like
where the kernel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
It must be a lyric in like a rap song.
That's something a rapper would say.
I would imagine,
for sure.
Or maybe like an athlete said it, because I feel like I hear athletes say it too.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point. I bet there's an archive. Something.
It's something LeBron would say about.
Yes.
Whatever, something he tweeted that was cryptic,
right? And
then it's like, no, there's actually levels to that. Like. Dude, is there anything you ate this week you want to talk about?
Yeah, just a short update. We recently spoke about green apples, and I came across one, and I was like, for research purposes,
no, for sure, yeah.
I decided to have one. It was fine.
It was fine?
Yeah, it was fine. It's pretty good. It's like okay.
Was it tart? Was it sweet?
Not as tart as I was expecting it to be.
Okay, that's nice.
Which is a nice surprise.
Was it crisp or mealy?
Pretty crisp, but not the whole way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure.
It's it was like crisp for a few bites, and then when I got in deeper, to look, there's levels to this apple.
Yeah.
When I got a little bit deeper, then I, but yeah, that was the one I wanted to chat about.
A green was it? What kind was it? Granny Smith or whatever? I don't know if those are green.
That's a good question. They are. I don't even remember.
Unappetizing name, by the way. Granny Smith.
Granny Smith.
Yeah, I'm not about that.
It's true. Would you? Well, I guess. See. Yeah. What if it was Grandma Smith?
Grandma Smith.
I feel like that would kind of
grandmother.
Well, actually, I'll let you.
Meemaw. No, all of them. Yeah, I guess
Grandma,
grandma. Both of those they almost sound too formal.
They sound too formal, and they almost kind of like suggest a sweeter treat than you think. Granny kind of does, but I agree. The name is not my favorite.
I think it makes me think it's going to be mealy. Because old people's,
yeah, it's like
constitution is softer and more. I don't know.
Yeah, true. No, it's true. Yeah, Granny Smith. It also kind of suggests like a southern sort of dusty, front porch, getting a shotgun pointed at you.
Exactly. You're a big fan of Rob Cantrell, the comedian, right?
Oh yeah.
He has a good bit about apples.
Wow, man.
He just gets real excited about. He's like, you bite into it and it fucking snaps. When apple snaps, man. Yeah. Very, very funny. If anybody's listening, Rob Cantrell, great comic, does bizarre kind of observational comedy about food and whatnot and animals.
Damn, yeah.
He had a bit about snakes that you loved, I remember.
Wow. Yeah, I think I still see him maybe like on the internet or something, but I haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah, I'll be on a show here and there with him, something.
That's great, man.
Yeah. I think he's doing well.
Good. I would imagine a lot of his stuff kind of delights people.
It's he's weird, but he's got that nice mix of weird but accessible. The things that he's talking about are not esoteric, everybody, but the ways that he's talking about them, it does take people a second to be like, wait, what? why is he like this? That's a very funny type of comic where like the beginning of the set is the audience just kind of calibrating and being like, why are you like this?
Yeah.
And that's great. I love that.
That's true. That's a good point. So yeah, that was...
Dude, let's move on to the first story, science. You brought this to my attention. This is great. This is a great story. Women perform better in cognitive tests when menstruating. First, what I like is that this is a Guardian article, and above the title, there's like a section of like, and the section is menstruation. It's like, dude, like you have a whole, that's like a whole like subsection on your website.
I know, it's a funny like, when I get my paper, I go straight to the menstruation
yes,
section.
like yes, menstruation. Then
see what news.
Yeah, then menopause. Then just get kind of the counterpoint. So this was specifically related to like athletics. Like I think it was like a bunch of sports doctors.
Yeah.
We're hearing from female athletes about their performance related to their monthly cycle, and they decided to test it, and it turned out that a significant percentage of women perform better, like not just cognitively, but like the reaction time was faster. I think it involved physical things too.
Yeah.
Even though they felt worse.
I know. Oh, those bananas.
Oh, they felt okay. Yeah. So that was surprising to me, first of all. And then I was thinking, I have a little like writing exercise for you, or like, okay. I was thinking like, okay, let's imagine this story comes across the desk of Tim Allen and Lena Dunham. What does each of them say about it?
Okay.
I feel like Tim Allen's would be like, well, yeah, of course, when I'm, fighting with my wife, she can always remember, a dumb thing I said like 10 years ago when she's on her period or something like that.
That's funny.
That would be what he would say. And then Lena Dunham, I don't know, maybe it should be a better, Lena Dunham's that's a little 2011, like, who's like a more contemporary, like, I guess just like a girl on TikTok or something.
That's actually an interesting, because like, who's the voice now?
Yeah, who's the annoying woman? And by the way, I love Lena Dunham. I want to say that too. I just mean annoying, like, the way that she's branded, I guess.
I know, she really gets a lot of hate. I don't know who the current like.
But yeah, what would like a TikToker say about this story?
Yeah.
I mean, my instinct would be like, well, it's because men are literally trying to murder us every single day.
It would be something, yeah.
And something about how like women are constantly being threatened by men and the patriarchy, and so they have to be more alert as a result.
True. Yeah.
I mean, that's not the joke. But that would be
right. But
that would be the like underlying. Yeah.
No, I agree. Interesting exercise. Also, coming across Tim Allen's desk is just a funny.
Yeah, exactly. Just that. Yeah, his assistant. Yeah,
boss, you might want to see this.
I mean, yeah, I imagine that. Yeah, Tim Allen's assistant is tasked with like, all right, find me stuff about women. Anything. Find me things that I could use to denigrate women. Find me material with which I can destroy my wife.
Yeah,
I don't even know if he's married anymore.
It's a good question too. I don't know.
Yeah, he's one of the lone like Republicans, and he likes to say. I guess
it's very interesting. Yeah. Lone Republicans who allegedly snitched on his coke plug.
Yeah, that's a big story. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Just like to pass that story along for future anyone to hear it.
But yeah, this surprised me. Also, the line about, people always say like, oh, you can never have a woman be president because she would get her period and like nuke Canada or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But I guess she wouldn't. She would suddenly be in like a Limitless style.
True. Yeah, she'd be in the zone.
Yeah, she'd be totally in the zone.
They should do like an equivalent of male athletes. Well, actually,
what is the equivalent to having a period as a man?
I was just thinking for the sake of immaturity, no fap.
Dude, I was just thinking that, and that's not immaturity. That's scientific exploration.
It's true.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, dude. Make a bunch of NBA players. That would be so crazy if, part of the rule for it's like they would test for it like they do performance enhancing drugs, which I don't know how you would do that, but yeah.
Dude, I think
with you, yeah. What if it was like none of them jerked off or had sex the entirety of the year, and then the finals are about like literally tonight is the first game of the NBA finals, and it's just these people fucking hovering over the board, and just like 300 points per game.
Dude, I think it does enhance. I think it's a similar result. Like it enhances.
That actually would be awesome, dude. The no fap Olympics.
Because I think, I'm sure other people do this now, other athletes, but I know boxers do semen retention, which is Kevin Gates, a rapper, he's on a semen retention journey at the moment. But
impossible to enforce. Can you imagine? Like, how would they? I mean,
yeah, I guess it's. Yeah, I mean, Kevin Gates is. I don't know. Maybe we have talked about this. I'm slightly obsessed with it, but Kevin Gates is. This again, impossible to check for, and it's subjective. But Kevin Gates says there's a glow about you when you're in SR. Yeah,
no, I believe it. I mean, I think the key difference is like Kevin Gates is choosing to do so because he feels it's enhancing his performance,
right? And
so whether or not it is, he feels that placebo of it.
Yeah,
but actually, whatever. I could be convinced that it's true. But it's like, or boxers do it because they individually have decided, or them and their trainers are like, I'm more likely to win this fight. But that's so different from like Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, being like, hey, like 18-year-old hot dudes, you cannot come.
True.
Because if you do, it will reduce the value of our product.
Right.
And you'll get fined every time you come.
Somehow, a bunch of guys would like go to play in China.
Yeah. I mean, but then I have to imagine China would be even better at. They'd go play in France, I guess.
France would never do.
Yeah, it's like just the most sluggish. It's like, yeah, we 30 to 40 points per game each team. Like,
that's true. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah. I mean, yeah, French would
take a nap
like...
halfway through. Take a nap at halftime. But yeah, dude, China would be even more.
That's true. You'd get carried out of your house in a net.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
You got caught coming. But yeah, France, like on water breaks, there'd be like,
dude, absolutely.
jerking the players off.
Oh my god. But yeah, so this fascinated me. This is I want to.
Yeah, it's interesting, and also it's interesting that they did it with athletes and like, because that's a small subsect of the female population where it's like there's more office work or just more
that's true
employees. It's like I wonder how they perform. I mean, it sounds like they would be fine, but they probably feel horrible when they go to work.
Definitely.
Just
I mean, it sounds like a really unpleasant experience.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Makes me.
Also, I just it sounds like the study was welcomed by the women who participated in it, but just the idea of like one dude being like,
yeah,
I got to figure this out.
I know,
and it's like, I'm the biggest perv in sports medicine, and
right. And I bet on women's sports.
Yeah, so exactly. Right. Yeah,
true. Yeah, that's a tough one to like. It's a tough subject to approach the women's teams with, and the women's team, like the sports organizations, to be.
It would affect gambling. You just made that joke, but it's like, yeah, I guess then you would bet the opposite way.
I know.
Yeah.
And yeah, the fact that it was done on female athletes, the cynic in me wants to be like, are they just testing this so there's not a bunch of people trying to game the betting system? You know what I mean? Like,
wait, how so?
Just people being like, I can find out when the people on this team are like menstruating, and then like bet on the other team or something.
Sure.
But apparently that's bad information.
Yeah, but I guess it would now be the opposite. It'd be like, well, no, it's like, she's menstruating. Like, I'm gonna bet and I don't know enough about gambling to say this terminology well enough, but it's like, I'll bet the over on her,
sure.
How many points she's gonna score. Because
I think so too. And then also, I mean, as a betting man, you get to look like a feminist if you're betting on the team that's menstruating.
Absolutely, yeah.
You're an ally now.
Yeah, it's like those guys that are like, dude, I actually like having sex with my girlfriend when she's on her period. I'm actually into it.
But I guess any men betting on that, I've like heard of people doing that before, and it was very gross to me. Not that
men betting on women's sports, or men betting on women's sports in particular,
with the knowledge of, or with the assumption, which is that doesn't sit right with me.
No, it's just, nor should it. Yeah. It's like, no, that sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
That's what an interesting, because it's like, I feel like there's all these there's all these evolutionary psychology things you could say about the way that men react to women during their periods or whatever, and maybe they're more attracted or less attracted based on whatever pheromone or whatever. I don't even know, but it's like there's so much stuff you could go into there.
Right.
The idea that also gambling on women's sport, like that would be which it is, because I think gambling is there's something about gambling that's inherently human. And possibly inherently animalistic. I don't know. Like, I don't know if, turtles gamble or something. But it's like, there's something about, like, taking a chance on a uncertain outcome that it just feels like humans have done it forever.
Yeah.
And so, the idea that would be wrapped into it, too. Like, there's, that's, that should be part of the study. It's like not only studying women who perform, how they perform under the period, but then like why the men that gamble on the women.
Yeah, how do they
study them?
Yeah, how do they perform? How are their reactions?
Yeah. How's their analysis of probability?
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, because I remember, dude, I did this weird like exercise with someone where we had to kind of figure out the probability of a bunch of things, and it was all very confusing because it would give you options where it'd be like, it would give you these weird fractions, and do you think it's more likely that 75% of this would go this way, or 50% of it would, it would give you these percentages, and have you try to analyze which one was more likely or less likely.
Mm-hmm.
And I did horrible on it because I wasn't good at like immediately figuring out like what is more reasonable. But this other guy that was doing it at the same time, he gambles a lot, and he was really good at it.
Yeah,
he got everything right. He gave the most logical answer every time because he like thinks about this stuff more often.
Wow. Yeah, some people are. I mean, probability is kind of like. I mean, you can learn it, I guess, but
totally.
it does seem like a gift.
It's just math,
to people. Yeah, people who are just like specifically attuned to.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I don't know anything about it, but.
Dude, let's move on. Well, actually, no. You know what? I'm curious. But you studied economics, and you're good at math, right? What's the highest level of math you did?
It was like some sort of applied, like I guess. Now it's gonna sound more official. But I didn't know what I was doing in the class, but I think it was like some sort of like differential equation thing.
Okay.
But it was like applied specifically for, I mean, it was just a math class, but it was like applied to like economic thing. Like,
But yeah, so you study that kind of stuff, but you're not.
Yeah, it was, I guess maybe for the classes, I like, made it a point to be like kind of zeroed in on it.
Mm-hmm.
But
since then,
it's just stuff I never really liked it or like cared to kind of clue in. And then also the other thing is like, maybe you've heard this, like there's like a psychological, you almost like psych yourself out when it's like when people get like in middle school and stuff, or just in general, just like when you're growing up, you just hear people be like, "Oh, math sucks. Math is hard."
Oh, definitely.
And that's like you just hear that more often.
Yeah.
And it kind of like predisposes you to being like uninterested or like subconsciously bad at it because like just you've been like
that's
trained,
definitely true.
Yeah, to just be like, this is hard. So it's like.
And a lot of people say, I'm bad at math. That's what I was like.
Right.
All growing up. I was like, oh, I'm bad at this. And so I don't try.
I think I was too, because I always heard it, but I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
But it was just like, it was, and I think even when I was going through it, it was a thing that I wasn't aware of like that, just hearing it so much kind of, but, you have to take statistics and then like these like applied statistics classes, or at least I did for I think for most people who like study economics, that's like a important thing to be aware of. But also it's like now there's like specific, I guess you have to understand the basic, this is boring, but you have to understand like the basics of it, but then there's like computer programs that can kind of analyze these things now. You just have to,
know how to work them
enough to like to know how to read them and all that. But yeah, it was never, that would be actually, I wonder if there are like there have to be now that it's like mostly legal, just like applied like a math that comes,
gambling math specifically. Yeah, sure, I bet
that's a pretty...
it's like so that you could get a job at DraftKings or whatever.
Yeah. Or definitely so you can get a job at DraftKings. Or I don't know. I feel like larger financial institutions are also, that's like appealing to them too.
Oh, sure.
They can just be it doesn't have to be sports. It can be anything. But like,
isn't that what, it wasn't the financial crisis essentially them gambling on the housing market?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, there was like I think he was a couple years older than me, but there was a kid that I went to college with who was an economics major who dropped out to become a professional poker player.
Whoa.
So it was like...
those guys always interest me. Steve Albini, the producer, who just died, was he played professional poker.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
And he got good enough at it to make money.
Damn.
So that he essentially producing, because he famously, didn't accept above a certain amount of money to be paid to be a producer, to produce albums.
Uh-huh.
So I think essentially he just like made money from poker.
Wow.
And then was just kind of like continued music as like, so he didn't have to make money at it.
Right. That's so cool.
Yeah. To be honest, I found he's was a brilliant artist, but I found him really annoying on Twitter, and so I unfollowed him. And
I didn't follow him on Twitter, but yeah, I mean, most of the, I feel like a lot of people's experience with him was like he's like a prickly, individual.
And I think also, I mean, honestly, you know what it is? He hated and talked very clever shit about a lot of bands that I like. So I was like, you know what? Shut up, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Shut up.
Dick.
I know. And I think his attitude of like, the type of rock that I am aware of is the best type of rock.
Oh.
And I found that obnoxious.
Yeah.
But he had taste, he had taste that he believed in.
Yeah, he had, yeah.
And the albums he produced sound fucking good as hell.
Didn't he produce a Nirvana?
In Utero, yeah.
Whoa.
And he produced this. He produced a million things, but this album by Neurosis that I really like, he produced.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's just. Yeah,
that's cool. I didn't know that. I don't know much about him.
And then what's his name? A total opposite kind of guy, but fucking Dan Bilzerian made his millions from poker.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure he initially became wealthy through being a poker player.
Wow.
And then he, got ripped, or maybe he was already always ripped. But yeah, like, can you imagine Steve Albini and Dan Bilzerian at the same fucking table?
Oh my god. Dan Bilzerian would want to kill Steve Albini. Well, I guess they wouldn't be doing much talking at the table.
No, yeah. What if they're hands? They're so locked in that it's actually they have like a. Yeah, it's like they're so connected on this one level.
So fun. I wonder if they ever played together.
Wow.
I mean, look, man. Once you reach the upper echelon, maybe you start meeting people.
Dude, that's so funny. It's like if I mean, listen, I hope Dan Bilzerian lives a long and fruitful life, but if he passed away, and then people were like, dude, can you imagine Dan Bilzerian and Steve Albini playing poker in heaven? Dude, Bilzerian, Albini. Who else is a famous poker player that died? I don't really know. Sinatra, just whatever people gambled.
Like, yeah, people who I don't even know. I don't know any professional poker players. Yeah, I know Adam 22 from No Jumper.
Does he play poker?
I think he's been learning.
Yeah,
from the footage I watched.
Dude, we'll have him on someday. I'm speaking that into existence. Did he just do Matt and Shane, or did I make that up?
He was at their house.
Wow.
Good. Which is exciting.
Big moment, yeah.
Big moment. I think he had a good time.
Nice.
I think he enjoyed himself. I think he found it refreshing to be like, they didn't ask me any questions about the whole like my wife making a porno with a different guy.
That is good. Yeah,
he was pleased with that. I think.
Good.
So
well, great, dude. What a meeting of minds.
I know. I'm excited to see what they've done together.
Dude, let's move on to next story. Business. I'd like you to speak on this for a bit because okay. you brought this to my attention. I read it. I honestly had trouble understanding some of it.
Okay.
Big Mac versus Super Macs. McDonald's loses EU trademark fight.
Yes.
As far as I understand, there is an Irish fast food restaurant named Super Macs that was using the name Big Mac to sell chicken sandwiches. And they sued McDonald's for trademarking Big Mac. And then Super Macs won. So Super Macs is now able to use the name Big Mac to sell chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, so I think I don't even know if it was necessarily that. Also, just a little bit of housekeeping. It sound like when we're saying Supermax. It sounds like we're saying Supermax, MAX, like Colorado prison.
Super MAC apostrophe S. Yeah. That is a good note.
So I think McDonald's initiated this because Supermax is an Irish fast food chain, and they wanted to expand from Ireland across the European Union, which is obviously, McDonald's territory.
But so there's no McDonald's in Ireland?
I mean, I'm sure there is, but I would imagine once the Supermax footprint started growing, they're probably like, all right, this is potentially. It seems like these kind of lawsuits are always like, I mean, I don't even know. I guess if I don't see why you have to do it. It's funny to me because it's like McDonald's is like, okay, we're trademarking this, and you can't use any of this terminology related to like Mac or like because Super Mac is so close to Big Mac that people will get confused, and it's like, no, they won't.
No, I know. But that's what I was confused about. Were they trying to sue Super Mac out of not naming the restaurant Super Mac, or was it specifically about the name Big Mac?
No, I think it was literally the Super Mac was the McDonald's problem, because MAC was the thing that was was, I think, that was like threatening to them. And then the recent ruling, which was like, not only can Supermax just use their name across Europe, the Big Mac trademark is only good for the hamburger, the ground beef hamburger, that is called the Big Mac.
Right, but if Supermax sells a chicken sandwich and calls it Big Mac, that's fine.
Because
there's a lot of specifics about whether or not it's chicken.
I'm not a legal expert, so that you have to give me a minute. I have to consult That's actually a really good question.
This is some billable hours right here trying to figure this out. Well, I'll tell you the thing I liked about this article, which was at the end of the article, it quotes McDonald's released a statement about the situation, and then also they talk to a spokesman for McDonald's, and the two paragraphs are like in a row.
Right.
And the statement from McDonald's at the end reads, McDonald's has held the EU Big Mac trademark registration since 1996, and it remains in full force and effect for the iconic sandwich that our fans around the world have come to know and love. In partnership with our franchisees, we're excited to continue to proudly serve our Big Mac and our local communities as we have done for decades. Okay, that's the official statement from McDonald's. Right after that, a spokesperson for McDonald's said, "The decision by the EU General Court does not affect our right to use the Big Mac trademark. Our iconic Big Mac is loved by customers all over Europe, and we're excited to continue to proudly serve local communities as we have done for decades." Literally the same exact wording.
Yeah, I know.
And I just found that funny, and like, this is the company. I guess this is the company line, and they're like, you have to use this language when you're speaking to the press.
Yeah,
but it's funny to see it. Maybe that's why the article had it bookended, or had it like right back to back to sort of emphasize like they're using this weird scripted language, But it is funny to see it like so closely related.
Back to back, yeah, because it is confusing.
Our iconic Big Mac. That's funny.
I know. And
proudly serve local communities as we have done for decades. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, it's very strange.
It is really weird where it's like, truly, I mean, just like this, I guess it's just funny to me. It's like, this is the company line.
Yeah. We have to call the Big Mac iconic. Right. And you have to mention that you proudly serve local communities, and you have to mention that it's been going on for decades. Yes. But remember that the sandwich is iconic.
Right. The other thing that's funny to me, or I guess kind of confusing, is like, okay, this is calling your restaurant Super Mac is a little weaselly.
Mm-hmm.
Also, having a being like, I'm just gonna make a chicken sandwich and call it a Big Mac.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Yeah, I wouldn't do any of this. I would not.
Know.
But I like, and also there's a picture of the founder, and he looks like an absolute king. Pat McDonough, or McDonough, whatever. Looks like a nice fucking corned beef faced.
Yeah.
Looks like a nice bloke.
Yes.
But if he was asking me, hey, I'm thinking of creating this restaurant, I think Super Macs, I would be like, that's fine, but come on, don't call it a Big Mac.
Dude, yes. It's like, yeah, whatever. Do what you got to do, I guess. But it's like, are you really like McDonald's and Super Macs seem to have a similar, like, two sides of the same coin, kind of like, well, if I call this like Super Macs and I call something Super Mac, people will think this is kind of this. Hey, Big Mac, do you guys have anything to do with the McDonald's Big Mac?
Sure.
The iconic Big Mac sandwich that has served my local community for decades. And it will it make people want to buy that? It's like I don't understand that psychology, and it's like maybe
it works though. Maybe it's like it's close enough to something you're familiar with that you like. Oh yeah, sure, I like that.
I guess this whole thing like kind of or this, I guess, consumer psychology situation kind of confuses me. And it's not like, well, I forget what the actual in-color picture of the Super Mac logo.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they use red and yellow.
Oh, yeah.
Which are the McDonald's colors, but would you try Super Mac?
I would love to. I would love to go to Ireland and have a chicken sandwich named a Big Mac. I would like that.
I would like to. Yeah, I would probably go to Ireland for that.
Yeah, and for that only.
Yeah, skip the hills.
Yeah,
and the plains.
Skip the pints.
Skip the pints. Skip the Skip like the IRA history.
Yeah. Exactly.
Specifically, 45-minute trip to Ireland.
Yeah. Well, they might have Super Mac in the airport, in which case you don't even need to leave the terminal. So even better.
Have you heard of Starbucking?
No, what is that?
That's like, there's a guy who travels around, I think, the world, but definitely America, and just wants to go to every Starbucks.
Whoa.
Ever.
Nice. That's hard. That almost seems like it's impossible.
It's difficult, but I think there's this guy.
This guy sounds cool.
He's making his way through, and I don't mean to steal content, but I think they cover it pretty extensively from time to time on the Time Crisis radio show, which is Ezra Koenig and Jake Longstreth, I believe his name is.
Yeah, I mean it's quite a feat. It's like, just imagine like going on a date with that guy. It's like, what are you into? It's like, well, I have to leave pretty soon because I guess he'd probably be meeting at a Starbucks too. I'm guessing he like.
Yeah. Let's double up on the activities. What do you? Wow.
Do you think if he's eating Starbucks pastries everywhere, then
I think well, that's actually an interesting. I forget what this guy tries. Maybe he just gets. I don't know.
Maybe I also wonder if there are like local delicacies that you could get at like the
right
the Vietnam Starbucks.
I bet you could. I bet it's probably fun. I bet this is a fun activity, and I would kind of. I don't know if that's what I would like to do with my life.
Is there a restaurant that you would do that for?
Ooh.
Wait, did I don't think I told you about this, and I think you'll like this. My girlfriend's brother once took a road trip across the East Coast, down the East Coast, I think, from Massachusetts to Florida, and he mapped out every Panera on the way down and like tried to go to them.
I really like
because he like loved Panera, or at least tried to like when he was going to stop for lunch somewhere. It was like, well, from my map, there's a Panera, 20 miles this way, like so let's go there.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, that's as good as any. I like Panera.
Yeah.
Stopping in a Panera, I think, would be fun.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
Other restaurants, I don't really...
I mean, LPQ, Le Pain Quotidien, we talk about a lot. That could be...
Which is still on the shit list, but...
No.
Wait, no. LPQ, that's a... Wait.
Pret a Manger is on this shit list for me.
Pret a
Manger is the one that kicked me out.
Sacre bleu.
Yeah. No, LPQ. They've never done that, they are like more upscale than Pret a Manger.
They are, and actually, credit to LPQ. This is years ago, but one time I went in and got food, and it was like late.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, you guys closing? I'll get out of here." And the guy was like, "No, you're good."
Oh, dude. That's nice.
Which is the opposite.
Also, I think they sell wine, which is just hilarious.
That's cool.
You could like drink at LPQ, which is...
I'd like to, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that one.
LPQ is a really good one, actually.
Yeah.
Because there's also the possibility of like the communal tables kind of foster... it's like I can meet other enthusiasts.
Yeah. I think we have our answer. Dude, can we move on to the next story?
Yeah, this is...
Okay, Costco plans to stop selling books year-round. And, I mean, yeah, there's not that much to it specifically, but yeah, they sell books at Costco. They're going to stop doing it. The publishing industry is upset about it. This caught my eye, first because I did not know they sold books at Costco.
Right.
And I don't have a Costco membership, but
Me neither.
I would love to buy a book at Costco.
I would too.
Absolutely... That just sounds like something I'd really enjoy.
I would enjoy that too. And one of the things in this article that was like, because it's Costco, the quantities that they buy and then intend to sell are huge.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think that's also accounting for their reasoning where it's like, all right, we're buying so many.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining like stacks of like a Sally Rooney book.
Dude, I know. Yeah.
Collecting dust at a Costco year round. And
almost it's like I'm thinking of like who are the authors that would be sold at Costco. I actually think Sally Rooney could be because
at this point, yeah,
she's famous enough and a bestseller. But a lot of it's gonna be like James Patterson,
yes, Tom Clancy,
yeah, thriller types. Probably like when Jordan Peterson first released it, the
That's
12 Rules for Life
Yeah.
or whatever. Like I bet there was like a ceiling, like a cathedral high stack of those. And then I was thinking like, yeah, well, what's like the Kirkling signature version of Ulysses or something? And it's just like lower quality. And then I was like, I think Dean Koontz is Kirkling signature Stephen King. So I was enjoying that. There's a weird aspect of this story that jumped to my mind. Okay. They interviewed this guy, Robert Gottlieb. Robert Gottlieb, a literary agent and chairman of Trident Media Group, said he'd spoken about the changes at Costco to a number of publishers who were alarmed by the potential blow to sales. Costco across the country was a big outlet for books, he said. There are now fewer and fewer places to buy books in a retail environment. This story is from June 5th, 2024, today. Mm-hmm. Robert Gottlieb died last year. He's a famous... I mean, unless it's a different
story.
Unless it's a different literary agent. It might be. Now that I'm saying it, it might be. Because Robert Gottlieb was a famous editor. Who... there was a documentary about him... and Robert Caro, who wrote all those Lyndon Johnson biographies, and The Power Broker.
Okay.
And it's about their relationship. And Robert Gottlieb was a really famous editor who edited like Toni Morrison and all these people.
Right.
And he died, but he died last year. And so then I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, right?
Okay. That's funny.
So if it's that Robert Gottlieb, this story, I just don't understand how this quote came about and what the timing of it is. Did they interview him about Costco last year? and then finally they were able to use this. Like I just didn't understand it. But
excellent.
Probably the most reasonable thing is that there's another guy who works in publishing named Robert Gottlieb.
Yeah, which is likely. Man, it's got to be scary if you like work in publishing and you get an email from Robert Gottlieb and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, it might be his son or something.
That's a really good. I mean, good eye and good.
Yeah, I just thought, and it was funny to start trying to do a whole conspiracy around it. That would be funny. The most boring conspiracy imaginable.
Also, just like the New York Times being like for 11 months or whatever.
Yeah, this
like,
is how
we
long
have the Costco story.
Yeah, dude, exactly. It's like he's like on his deathbed, and it's like I'd love to talk about like Toni Morrison or like the Pulitzer and and they're like, no, like what do you think of Costco's book sales? It's like I guess I'll give you a quote for this, and then he died. These are his dying words. So, yeah, so that's, I don't know, that story really tickled me. It also makes me sad, I guess. I mean, I want people to read more books, and it's sad to think that you can't buy, because it's like, I can imagine some bookish child who's accompanying his parents to Costco, and that's got to be the most boring place to go as a kid. Besides Home Depot,
Yeah, both places you can get hot dogs, though.
That's true.
And like good cheap hot dogs, but I agree with you.
Well, yeah, once you get all hot dogged out, it's like, and if you're like a little nerd, then you run over to the big book section and you pick up like,
good point,
a massive Stephen King novel or something, right. And I feel sad for that child wherever he or she is.
I agree. It is kind of depressing where they're like, this is just shit that just is not selling, which is probably a wider. I guess I don't know. I don't know the statistics, so I don't want to but. I don't know.
I do think people are reading way less.
I think so too.
I mean, anecdotally, that feels true.
No, I think so too. It also kind of like people are reading less, and that kind of goes in line with the next thing that you wanted to.
Yes, yeah. Which and quickly on people reading less, a friend of mine who published a novel recently. What's his name? Julius Taranto. That's his name, and he wrote a good novel. But he told me that he read some study that like a bunch of people were polled, and like only 5% of people polled had read a single book that year.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I guess that's just
that's proven. That people read.
Yeah, but I don't have the thing in front of me. I don't know.
But it does seem like
this is like third hand study that I'm citing. So I don't know. But
I get it's just in terms of like there's just so much more to look at.
But anyway, let's move on to the next thing because it's kind of related. So instead of reading books, now people are reading text in TikTok videos that hot people are pointing to. Yeah, and that's what reading is now.
True.
I mean, the thing is, so this is social media nonsense, and I was just trying to, sometimes I'm trying to decide topics to talk about, and I was like, there's not really, like, usually it's like good for this podcast, bad for my mental health. Sometimes there is a thing on social media that is driving me insane that is top of mind, and I'm like, oh, I definitely want to talk about this. Mm-hmm. But today, I've been kind of off it. So I didn't really have anything specific.
Oh, yeah.
But so I thought, okay, let me talk about this general trend of like this weird way that information is imparted now, which is just like a block of text and then someone pointing to it, or just kind of
just floating.
And just kind of like doing a face.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so strange, and I don't understand why it's like popular, and why that way of transmitting information is so addictive.
Yeah.
To pay attention to and to do. I feel really lost about it.
Yeah, I agree. There is something. It's like, I guess I just don't get it. I don't get like why it's text. Is it so people can watch it without having to listen to...
Definitely. That's a big part of it, is that, you can scroll, and no matter where you are, you can take in what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, I also think, it's the way that, like, when you're a baby and someone's reading a book to you, they'll point at the images. It literally feels like that.
It's very, infantilizing.
Absolutely.
The population. Dan Soder has a funny, good couple jokes about.
About people self-diagnosing as autistic on TikTok.
Yeah, but he mentions the pointing.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
he does. Yeah.
I know what you're talking, and I'm sure I've seen it. I guess I just don't see it like. Well, do they do it on? I'm sure they do it on Instagram too. But like,
it's more on TikTok for sure.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it does come up on Instagram, but it's definitely it is a TikTok sensibility for sure.
That's like a hallmark of the TikTok.
I would say so.
Behavior. Interesting. Pointing to text. I mean, that'd be funny if that's like it's like a compilation of all the text I pointed to in my TikTok videos as a book.
Dude, yeah, that's good. Or you just try to sell books at, like, you're like, all right, nobody wants to buy, Henry James's The Ambassador, but what if instead of the regular typeface, we just like inserted a different like hot girl pointing to every paragraph.
Whoa.
And then suddenly it's like the best-selling novel. That's smart.
That actually might work.
That's fucking smart.
I mean, not
dude.
even might. That will work.
Yeah, that will work. Damn. And then I was just thinking too.
Get Robert Gottlieb on the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
If possible.
Yeah, get the ghost of Robert Gottlieb to. Damn, that's so fucking smart. Oh my god, dude. Then the other thing I was thinking about is Moses bringing down the 10 Commandments from the mountain. That's the original. Someone pointing a text. Literally had a floating tablet of fucking stuff, and he's like, "Look."
And I mean, it worked pretty well.
I know. Yeah, it's viral as hell,
loud and clear.
Yeah,
Moses.
Oh my god, dude, I love that idea of like packaging books with just TikTokers.
It's just like a busty,
just
floating bust of a woman, and then like an arm.
Yeah, and just like every like. I mean, there have to be so many of those pictures because it's like like the number of words in a TikTok caption are like 20 at most. So literally every 20 words you have a different.
Right.
Wow. That's awesome. Dude.
Makes for much larger books, but I think I'm still with it.
Yeah, no, dude, absolutely. And then okay, the next thing I had, which I just thought of earlier, was Drake posted a picture of him gambling on the NBA Finals.
Oh yeah.
And so I believe I'm so ignorant about gambling, so I don't know if I totally understood, but I believe that he gambled $500,000 because it says stake.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that means, right? Stake in gambling is like what the money that you put in.
That's right. That's
so anyway,
right. That's also the name of the app that he is like a partner with.
Okay, got it.
But
that's why right. He keeps posting.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. I thought he was just like, yeah, look at me fucking balling out.
I mean, I think he is like,
like that's part of it,
and
but
loves gambling. Love to Drake.
But anyway, he
no disrespect.
Yeah, he $500,000 on the Mavs. It's the Mavs versus the Celtics. And if they win, if the Mavs win, he makes I don't know if this is like his profit or just what he would make, but it's $1,300,075.
Right. Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know if that's above the $500,000 that he already gambled, or if that's just what but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like, if the outcome is what he does, then I guess he gets paid back that amount.
Yeah. So,
but I guess that's not profit. I guess that I would imagine that's it's like $800,000.
Yeah, right. Whatever. His profit is 800. Yeah. That's what I was.
I guess they don't break it down like that.
Yeah. But anyway, Drake thinks the Mavs are going to win.
I also just back. That is like a cool. I respect that. Just coming out of the beef with all these other rappers. And then just like I'm just back to posting like bad bitch captions.
Yeah, totally. I think that that makes sense because I think awesome. Like
it's awesome.
Everybody forgets stuff. Like nobody really cares anymore.
No.
Everybody's gonna go back to listening to Drake pretty soon.
For sure.
They'll just like listen to Drake and then be like, "Oh, remember that like sick diss track about how he's a pedophile?" And then be like, "Let's put that on," and then back to Drake.
Yeah, true. But I'm glad he's back.
Yeah, dude, good for him. I hope. I mean, I think I'm rooting for the Mavs in this series. I think I like them more than I like the Celtics.
Who do you bet on? The Mavs?
The Mavs, yeah.
And I hope Drake gets his money.
Yeah, he said. He said I'm betting on the Mavs because I'm a Texan.
Oh, that's right.
But what? Why? Is he?
I think he has family in Houston.
Oh, okay.
Maybe his dad's from Texas or
right,
something.
Okay. Because his mom's like a white Jewish person.
Yeah. And he's from Canada, but like he claims Texas a lot. And,
okay.
It must be his dad.
Got it. Okay.
There's also something with well, actually I don't know. I don't know the details about other connections, and I prefer to not speak on them.
Okay, yeah.
Dangerous.
Then we'll do it off mic. Okay, next word of the week. I didn't have any specific, but I did have saying Zed instead of Z for the letter Z, which is what British people do. I might start doing this.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because it would come up rarely enough that I could just like, well, it's kind of like an A to Z approach to this, and people would be like, huh? But then they wouldn't really be like, wait, did you just say?
Yeah.
And then I could just kind of try to see how long I could get away with it.
Yeah, it might be, yeah. And it seems like pretty widely understood.
Oh, yeah, wait. I think someone's probably made a joke about this, but they'd be called ZZ Top. Like, yeah, I'm going to go see ZZ Top at, whatever arena is nearby. That would be, people would notice that. They'd be like, what? Dude, what?
Yeah, that one's tough.
Yeah.
But kind of funny.
Yeah, is there another another thing that would be Dragon Ball Zed?
That one, that's kind of like blasphemous.
That is,
opinion, and I'm not even necessarily a fan.
Yeah. It's cool, though. Zed is cool.
Yeah, it's
I like
very
it.
Like official, almost like it's kind of like militaristic.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. So I might pick that up, and then this is going back to the Super Mac story, but I just noticed that something about it. It called it a takeaway chain, and I realized that the British say takeaway instead of takeout.
Yeah, they do say takeaway.
I don't like that.
Yeah, takeaway is like too proper.
Yeah, and it's like. Do they have anything for drive-through?
No, I feel like shorthand in America is drive-through. I guess, to go or like...
Yeah, to go, take out. You know what I don't like? It's like people go for here or to go, right? I like that, but when they're like to stay or to go,
yeah,
I don't like to stay.
Right. Also, a lot of chain restaurants, not necessarily fast food, but chain restaurants tried to get curbside poppin'. It's curbside. You pull up and
so not like eating on the curb, but like you
you pull up to the curb.
Whoa!
I think it was
like a drug deal.
It might even be a pandemic related thing where it's like we got curbside, so you pull up, a member of the team who has no choice but to work. Will be carrying your food out, so you don't even have to go into the restaurant.
Damn.
I still would just be like, it's just to go.
Yeah,
but I guess that kind of to go means or assumes that I'll be going in to pick it up.
Dude, there's a series of restaurants. Okay, First Avenue in Manhattan. there's a bike lane, right? Going north, and it's like a bunch of bikers and, you know, delivery people and whatever use it.
Oh yeah.
But also they have a ton of like outdoor seating, and waiters have to cross the bike lane carrying food and it's just like the worst planning.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
It's awful. It's like, yeah, I don't know what the solution is, because I like outdoor dining. I think it's nice that it's there. I think it's a good addition to city life, and I like bike lanes as a cyclist, but
yes,
it's just horrible. And I usually, you know, there's like it just feels like awful city planning, and
it's a bad idea or a bad setup,
rife for accident.
Totally, and also spillage.
Yeah, dude, totally. It's a very, like, I don't know, it feels like a very Mr. Magoo type situation.
It does. Frogger. It's like Frogger.
Yeah, it is, absolutely.
You know, it'd be funny if every restaurant built one of those, like, Japanese-style arch bridges.
That would be sick.
From every restaurant.
Damn.
I mean, it might just make it prettier, but that's a lot of labor.
Whoa. That would be awesome. Oh, my God.
Just incredibly steep.
Just yeah, that's what fucking Manhattan roads need more of, is, like, ramps. Just do more verts on your city bike
that the waiters have to drop into and get to the other side.
Damn, you got to earn your meal, dude. Okay, so do you have anything else on Zed?
No, but I appreciate you bringing it to this discussion,
dude. Great. Well, let's talk about poetry.
Yeah,
this is John Keats' "To Sleep." Let me get my bearings here. Okay. O soft embalmer of the still midnight, shutting with careful fingers and benign our gloom pleased eyes, embowered from the light, and shaded in forgetfulness divine. O soothest sleep, if so it pleases thee, close in midst of this thine hymn my willing eyes, or wait the amen ere thy poppy throws around my bed its lulling charities. Then save me, or the passed day will shine upon my pillow, breeding many woes. Save me from curious conscience that still lords its strength for darkness, burrowing like a mole. Turn the key deftly in the oiled wards, and seal the hushed casket of my soul. All right, a lot of kind of dense, dripping language to kind of get your mind around. But I do like this poem a lot.
I like it.
What jumps out to you about it?
Well, like you said, kind of at the outset, I often struggle with this kind of language, which is like ornate, kind of almost like illogical.
Yes. Syntax is all backwards,
and I guess it's the point of poetry and all that. But also it goes with people kind of talk like this shit, like, you know what I mean, like in this era.
They do, but definitely it's like the syntax. They move the syntax around because they're trying to adhere what they're saying to a certain meter and a certain rhyme scheme.
Yeah, but
so it is unnatural. It's like a corset or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. But I like it's like, I guess, just the awareness of like sleep being kind of like a respite, or like in more ways than one, just not even like I'm tired, but like, you know, save me from curious like all that stuff.
Yeah, that stuff is cool. I mean, I love that this is just like, sleep is fucking sick. I love being asleep, and I do. I love being asleep. I love napping. I love, if sleep wasn't necessary to live, I still would do it, I think.
Ooh.
I probably wouldn't do it like as much, but I would like.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It is nice. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
it
is good stuff.
It is good stuff.
Yeah, so I appreciate this, and then I agree what you said with what you said about the respite from the things that bother you when you're awake. I like the idea of or wait the amen. So I think it's saying like he's praying before bed.
Yeah.
Ere, which took me a long time before I learned that means before.
Okay.
Ere thy poppy throws around my bed its lulling charities. So I think it's like kind of equating sleep to like an opium dream.
It's cool
because it's like a poppy. So that's I
right,
like that.
right.
It's lulling charities is a nice phrase.
I was gonna say I like that.
Yeah,
that was like specifically one that stuck out to me after the save me thing. I like that part.
That's cool. Yeah. The curious conscience that still lords its strength for darkness, burrowing like a mole. So I guess that's like the idea that like your mind kind of still going when you're asleep and just kind of like digging further and further.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like a strong image.
Yeah, it's true. And then it kind of like, is offset at the beginning, or like the Soft and Bomber. Like there's he has like it's like delicate and like careful.
Yeah.
Like these words are kind of surrounding sleep, because it's like you do kind of have to be still and like quiet to adequately like fall asleep most of the time.
Absolutely. This dude, John Keats, I think he died young, and he was a very sensitive. He was one of the romantics, and I think he was very sensitive, and I was just thinking, dude, this guy could not survive like a smartphone, like a blue light showing like a news feed.
Yeah.
Like before bed, this guy would just absolutely would be shattered by this.
Yeah, it would be like a multiple page epic.
Yeah,
poem
I think
like
I don't think he could. I think he would
just
like his mind
out.
would. Yeah, exactly. I mean, because this guy was writing this kind of stuff. Like this guy was talking about curious conscience, and
that's true.
The woes of his mind, and what he's doing all day is writing poetry and going on hikes and being in love with like women in the 18th century. It's like this sounds like a nice life. I don't know.
It does sound nice, and it's like
sounds like there's not that much distraction, but
I know.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, imagine showing him a video of someone pointing the text.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he could do it.
Ears would bleed, and like.
Who do you think would do? Is there an old author that you think would like thrive in like the social media age?
That's a good question. Wow, that's a great question.
My first thought is Kafka.
Okay.
Because just his paranoid, jagged, kind of depressive point of view, it feels very in line with the way that a lot of people talk on, Twitter and.
That's interesting. Yeah. I'm not familiar with his writing, but that sounds right, because just like, he's like a descriptive term for, what I mean?
Yes,
like,
sure. Yeah, he created a style.
Yeah. Dorothy Parker might, because she was like funny.
Dude, absolutely.
And she's
that's a good point.
Like quippy, and she'd probably be funny on the internet.
Yeah, for sure.
Have a Kraken Medium page.
I think Jane Austen would be good.
Ooh. Which one of these authors do you think would post pics?
Yeah, good point. I mean,
selfie.
The Brontes, maybe. I don't know if they were hot.
I'm gonna show you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna show you this. Did you see the Topia Twins video? Travis Scott. There's these two extremely hot, the Claremont twins.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know about them?
Yes.
In the video, they're posed like on top of each other and facing opposite ways with their big butts and big tits. But I'm just picturing the Bronte sisters doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
In like their Victorian outfits.
Very good. That's turning me on.
Twin bitches.
Yeah. Actually, this is related. This is related to what we're saying right now, which is one thing I really like that this poem does, and this is very common in poetry, is it's like instead of the past day, it's like the passed day.
Oh yeah, I know.
The hushed casket, right? Just it adds an extra syllable for
there's like
for the meter.
There's some rhythm.
But then it says, turn the key deftly in the oiled wards.
I know.
And I'm like, dude, oiled is awesome. I'm like, yeah, it's like, let me look at thine oiled ass cheeks. that's making me laugh, and
that is
it's
really
it's
funny.
like
That's
Oiled is very erotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like true. Adds a depth.
So I like this poem a lot. I think I appreciated I like the ornate language. It's I struggled reading it a little bit, like out loud. Like I bungled I bungled gloom pleased eyes. I had to say that a couple times.
It's a tough one.
But yeah, overall, John Keats, I'm gonna read more of him. And I appreciate I appreciate your time, Charles.
Appreciate your time. Thank you for bringing this poem and this other information.
Yeah, do you have any takeaways? Any action items?
Not at the moment. How about you?
I don't either. I think we nailed it once again.
Perfect.
All right. Well, hello, dear.
Hello, dear.
Hello, dear. Kind thanks for listening to our splendid podcast and bequeathing your attention to our lucrative enterprise. If you enjoyed what you heard, please do the needful and transmit the relevant information to all of your personal and professional contacts as soon as possible, or I shall be forced to unfold your private banking details to all interested parties. Don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions or concerns. Wishing you many miracles and luxuries. Hello, dear.